All right, let's start our look at Desert Rose by Eric Johnson by taking a look at the verse. Now the verse section remains the same throughout the entire song. Nothing changes. When we go to the chorus after this, there's basically going to be, he does the chorus 3 times and he does it a little bit different each time. But we're going to take a look at the verse here. The verse is also the intro to the song. So we're going to get a little of this. Okay, so let's take a look at what I just did there. First off, how he is picking this, it's all pretty much on these 2 middle strings here. So you're going to have the pick is always going to be on the 4th string, and then your middle finger is going to be picking the 3rd string. Put together kind of that piano style that Eric Johnson favors. And use the back of your palm to mute the strings right in front of the bridge, so you get a kind of a snappy muted sound. All right, so we're going to start what's going on the left hand here. We're going to have 3 on the 3rd on the G string and then 3 on the D string. Hit that twice, then reach up and grab your pinky at the 5th. Leave the 2nd finger there on the 4th string. Reach up and grab the pinky at the 5th fret on the G string, so you're playing 3 on the D, 5 on the G. Pick that twice. Then do a bar across the 1st fret, those 2 strings, and then the 3rd fret, add the 3rd fret on the G string to the 1st fret on the D you're already playing. So we have this. Then really quickly come down and grab the low F here, 1st fret on the low E string. Muted as well. So we have this. And then we're back to the same chords before. The only thing that's different is instead of playing this 1 and 3 chord, we're going to lift up that bar on the last chord here, and we're going to play the open G string with that 1st fret on the D. So we have. Then you start all of that over by once again coming down to the 1st fret on the 6th string in between each figure on the 3rd and 4th strings. So let me play through what we got so far. Now this after you've gone through it, the 2nd time going through it, instead of doing that, the open G and the 1st fret of the D, you hit this big chord, you let it ring. It's not muted. It's a little power chord shape, and it's at the 1st fret on the D, 3rd fret on the G, and then 4th fret on the B string. All right, then you continue with the same riff again. Then, instead of playing the last time through those chords, we do this thing that brings us into the chorus, which is this F power chord off of the 3rd fret on the D, and then you're barring across the 1st fret on the B and the E strings. So you get the pick's going to get that low on the D string, and then the middle and ring finger will get the 1st and 2nd strings. Then you come to this chord. He loves doing these open voice power chords. So, and this is another one you'll see a lot in the song. The 6th fret on the A string, 3rd fret on the G string, and then 2nd fret on the B string. 4th fret on the B string. Okay, so that's it for the verse. Now, whenever you hear the verse, it does stay exactly the same, just like that, throughout the entire song. All right, now we're going to make it to the chorus. Now the first chorus, all the choruses are really close to each other, but just a slight difference. So the main figure, though, that you need to do is this. Now, while he's doing that, the harmony and like the bass on the bass guitar changes, but he just keeps that figure going on the guitar. So really the bass is what's creating that moving harmony. So what we have here, you're going to have a bar with your first finger at the 6th fret, and then you're going to kind of hold like a D major chord shape here. You're at the 8th fret on the G string, 9th fret on the B, and then 8th fret on the high E string. So pick the 3rd string, and then go pick the 1st and 2nd string, then lift up that first finger, or the 2nd finger, so now you're playing that bar note, the 6th fret on the G string. And then go reach over and grab the 1st string again. Pick the 1st string, so we have this. And then come back and start the figure again. So you just keep rotating that, doing that over and over again. So he's just basically changing that note and giving it a kind of a little of a funky rhythm while he's doing it, so kind of keeps it moving. So after he does that, he plays this chord, which is going to be a 9 on the low E, 11 on the A, and then you're going to bar your pinky across the 13th fret across the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings. Okay, so that's kind of what he does in the first chorus. He goes to that chord there. Right this little section where I play that chord, that's where all the different choruses come in. So this is how we're doing it in the first chorus. Then it goes back to the figure. And we're going to end the chorus like. So that's another power chord shape here. 4th fret on the A, 1st fret on the G string, and then 2nd fret on the B. Hybrid pick, then the power chord, straight power chord that we all know from that shape, off the 4th fret, and then 6 on the G and the D strings. Pick twice. Then you'll see a slight little slide there, and it takes you back to the verse again. And then we get to chorus number 2. The difference here is we're going to play the same figure. And after you play that chord, you're going to come down and play this chord, which is just the 6th fret on the D string, and then 4th fret barred across the B and the E. And then everything else is the same. And that takes you into the first solo. Now the last time playing the chorus, which is basically between the first and second solos, a little bit more extended, and we have a little bit more going on. We have some fills, we have a little bit different chord shapes, so let's take a look at that. So it starts the same. Now we go and grab that previous chord that we did in the first chorus. So you hold that the whole time there, and then it goes back to the phrase again. So we have now those chords. Instead of playing that big chord, now in exchange of that, we're going to do these, which are this is during the third chorus, the pinky on the A string on the 4th fret, 3rd fret on the G, 2nd fret on the B, 1st string on the high E. Remember, hybrid pick everything. So you're going to have your pinky involved in this one on the high E string. Then that same power chord shape we did earlier with on the 6 on the A, 3 on the G, 4 on the D. I mean the B string. All right, and then he plays the chorus riff again. Now we have some little fills here, and the first fill sounds like this. So what he's doing there, he slides from 16 up to 18 on the B, do a slight half step bend and release, then play 16, then down to 14, then play 13, hammer and pull 14, 15 on the 15, 13 on the G string. Look at this. And then the second fill after that. So what's going on there? It goes 11 on the D, 13 on the G, 14 on the B. Then skip up to the 13th fret and play 13, 16 on the first string, then back to 15. Then we have 16 on the B to 13 on the first, on the high E. Then 14, 16 on the B. Then we end with this little blues like. It's a whole step bend at the 14 on the B. Then 11 on the high E. Then pull off 14 to 11 on the B. And then 13 on the resolve it to the 13 on the G string. All right. Then he does a little sequence of chords getting ready to go into the second solo, the last solo in the song. And those chords would be. So some chord shapes we've seen before. We have the 4th fret on the A, 1st fret on the G, 2nd fret on the B. Hybrid picked. Then the straight power chord at the 1st fret on the A string and 3 on the G and the D. Then back to the previous chord. Then take that chord up 2 frets. And then it goes into the outro solo. All right, so stay tuned for solo number 1. These things are epic, so it's going to be a lot of fun.